Well, hello.
Oh, hi.
How goes it?
Greetings.
Fox and I are here at last for a real edit, an edit stream.
For real this time.
Something that never happens,
Final
apparently.
just went live. I gotta go.
Oh yeah, he's lame. Yeah, I don't want to watch that guy. I'm gonna turn on this cool Periscope thing. Check that out because Fox is kind of curious. Editing a screenplay.
Like,
check that out.
Pretty cool.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna turn the volume down, and I'll just leave this here if we want to see chat. Where I'll leave it up. There we go.
Excelente. Put it on my leg. There you go.
There you
go. Nope.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Here we are. So we're going to go ahead and read the screenplay on the left, take notes on the right, and yeah, you guys kind of know the rest. Ozma by Caleb Jackson. Act 1, fade in. Muckland Secondary School.
Munchkinland.
I'm dumb. Ignore me. We see bells ringing from atop a large building made of ceramic cylinders. We pan down to a flowery schoolyard. 2 rusty bikes in the foreground. So what is the first thing you see here? Well, I don't have to make it. Yes. But one thing to be aware of is this is a big chunk of text to start your screenplay with. Usually a sign of an amateur in general, or is it just like not a normal thing, is to have a big chunk over 4 lines of action or dialogue. So those big action or dialogue chunks, one of your focuses as the writer is to really trim those down. So especially as your very first paragraph, it's probably the most important page in your screenplay is the very first page. So having something that's a little bit of a misstep like that will sometimes detract from the read. Shorten that, the big wall O text.
Did you break it up? Would that help?
Yeah, exactly. And it's very simple. Yeah. And it's very similar to novel writing, actually, where you're breaking it up very much in terms of thoughts or images. So, in screenplays, you'll usually be little 3 lines for scene, 3 lines for character introduction, 3 lines for so you'll have your boom, and you'll be it's a bright day out in the park, boom. Jeff carries a backpack and walks around and does this. Mm-hmm. Boom. It's you're kind of modulating it in terms of the what bits it's describing, whereas in novels it's sometimes a little bit more blended, but you'll even see that character description paragraph set apart from the scene description paragraph. And you can even see he has a character in here, Tip. So that's kind of indicative of this probably being well served by breaking it up. Mm-hmm. We see bells ringing from atop a large building made of ceramic cylinders. We pan down to a flowery schoolyard with 2 rusty bikes in the foreground, serving as our focal point. So stuff like this is a little bit kind of, they make the joke where it's let the director do the directing, or let the cinematographer figure it out. Wouldn't worry about calling out the focal point. Just by describing it, the reader's gonna believe it or not, trust your writing. Sorry, if it's getting too cold, let me know. That's a natural thing. I always get too hot. What up, Fallen Clown? What's going on? Good to see you.
It tells you when people start watching.
It's only my friend. So then your friend, Fallen Clown's my actual little mini Twitch, Facebook friend, or however it works.
I see.
But yeah, it's fun.
So many mediums here.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty fancy. We fancy.
Yeah, you know.
So usually, just by describing the bikes, and you did a really great job with that, my mind, the only thing I'm seeing are those bikes, so they're going to naturally become the focal point. So just trust your writing. You don't need to call stuff like that out all the time, especially in screenplays. Very, very minimal. Colorfully clothed children. Be careful of that automatic alliteration. Yeah, colorfully clothed children pour, unless it's intentional. Just know that's there. Pour out from the front door, mostly munchkins, with a few animal-human hybrids. What?
I was It's Oz.
Animal-human hybrids, though.
I think it's actually animals just that talk. Excuse me.
Oh, animals that talk. Okay.
I think. Well, that's.
That's true. Okay, I'm done. Ignore me. And it's
You don't
open source
understand.
now. Frank L. Baum is 70 years now, I think. So
Yeah.
you can write about
Wicked
it.
has been a thing for a while.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Yeah. Tip: 14 human heads right for one bike. He's wearing a green Gatsby. What's a Gatsby?
I think it's like those little like funky clothes the elves wear.
Your funky clothes that elves wear.
Ma'am. Thanks for the host, Fallen Clown. You rock. Writing your book.
Nice.
Auto After Six podcast. Also, thank you for the host. I hope your book is going along well, Mr. Fallen Clown. I know that's always a journey, as it were. Writing a book is a marathon of marathons. We writers
Only
laugh.
the strong survive.
We laugh at marathon runners. We call them big old pansies.
Yeah.
Smish Smosh, thanks for the host. Much appreciated.
Thanks for the host, Mish.
If you're there, if you're there, Smish, we miss you. We hope you're well.
I love you.
You're awesome. Hope your writing is going good. I'm gonna check my viewer list, see if there's a Smish Smosh in there. Nope, just an Auto Smosh.
Still appreciated.
Still appreciated. I always like to thank the auto host because it does really help get more writing people plugged in. Anyways.
Green Gatsby, red bandana, white button pants.
Yeah, for not writing a novel. It's like, oh, you're finished? Only thing you have to do now is edit like 50 times.
Yeah.
Very true. Such is the curse of novel writing. Are you guys able to see? I think my chat is not showing up.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
there we go.
Boom.
That's what I want. I want all these kind souls who are chatting to get the proper recognition.
Am I finished? No, not good enough yet.
Yes. Poor Fox has had to deal with me mewling about my novel and how hard. Oh, it's like, it's taking me so long to write a draft. Yeah. Anyways, yes.
Okay, so white button up with green suspenders, patched cargo pants. It's a lot of clothes. Green Gatsby, red bandana, white button up with rip sleeve, green suspenders, patched cargo pants, clunky work boots, and a mischievous grin.
Yeah, I think lists like that are always tough because they kind of, at a certain point, they start working against you because, like, this is actually something I was doing in my novel where I was describing things like it was a 2x2 cube. And, like, the reader is going to stop and be like, okay, 2 feet by 2 feet, like, what the frick? And then they were just like, it was a cube about arm's length. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
And, like, this may be one of those things where, like, you're giving the reader so much to chew on that they eventually will, like, slow the read down.
Yeah.
Just lean that out. Lean out care description. And I'll make sure to, I'll read it a lot faster just to kind of make sure that we hit all the plot. But the first page is usually where I focus most on the mechanics, and then because those problems usually occur throughout if they're on the first page for sure.
Wake up a little bit. I think we missed that. He's followed by Wogglebug Jr.
Oh.
Human insect hybrid, wearing a top hat, tattered suit, panicked expression, a frantically inching their legs.
Yeah, and especially since you have this list style. Try to break up how you're structuring your sentences around character description. So if you're always describing them, all right, see you in a sec, Fallen Clown. If you're always describing them in this, like, this, and this, it's going to feel that kind of, like, hiccupy kind of, it's going to get this really weird staccato tone. And that works if it's intentional, but if it's not, it sometimes starts to work against you. We're going to reap the seeds this time, Tip. No use backing out now. They mount their bikes. Let's ride.
You're a roadkill, labrats. Who's Rash?
Rash is a 16-wheeler. Usually you want to introduce the character before their dialogue, but it's okay, I guess. It's okay sometimes, but with other stuff that's going on that's like not...
like another, like...
Yeah, you'd want a little action
male
line.
voice, like off screen or something.
Like this should just be bumped up one. Yeah, or you'd have OS.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Wheeler. Those are creepy.
I'm trying to remember these.
Did you ever see the one with Return to Oz, I think it was called, with the Wheelers? That movie
Return
scared
to
the
Oz?
crap out of me.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, if you've never seen it, it's from the 80s, I think. It's actually pretty. I actually like it, but it's pretty weird. It's pretty creepy. When I was a
I've never
kid, I
seen
was
Return to
terrified of the
Oz.
Wheelers.
BTV stream. Thanks for the auto hosts. Much
We should watch.
appreciated.
You should watch that just for.
Just
for
because
energy.
YOLO.
It's actually pretty good. I mean, I liked it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down. We can go check it out after
It's
this.
much darker than Wizard of Oz.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's really cute.
That sounds creepy.
Yeah, the Wheelers are freaking insane.
Tip turns around and looks him straight in the eye. What are you doing? Isn't our situation sticky enough?
Just watch out. You're gonna love this. A murder
murder
of crows descends upon the Wheelers, stopping them dead in their tracks. Wog's horror intensifies.
Murder on school grounds, that will not fly with the faculty. Beware the play on words. Especially because this play on words specifically doesn't translate on the page. Is dependent on your written description. Like, you're saying murder of crows, and like you maybe be able to get away with it, which is a bunch of crows, but it's like a stretch.
People would be like, murder?
Who murdered? Because they like if you were just like watching this like crows coming in, like, oh, someone got murdered, like, what the hell?
Right. Like, did he die? I missed it.
Wog, we'll finish our routes, rendezvous at the Chronicle, and lay off the puns. Ready? Tip offers a handshake. Wog hesitates, but engages in a traditional handshake, followed by an upward handshake. A wrist rotation, outside finger grab. Pull apart, snap, finally going for a fist bump. Tip stops
Did you just say a complicated handshake?
Yes. Absolutely. Beware these lists. They seem to be a bit of a habit and will kill the reader with details. Yeah, so just be careful of those. Interesting. I'm done. Okay.
Wait. We should stop the fist bump short and add a finger explosion. Oh. That's morbid.
Yeah, I forget where I picked that up, but I was like, yeah, that's true. No, little tear.
Okay, you know.
Little tear drip down my cheek. Tip offers a handshake. Wog hesitates, but engages in a traditional handshake. Fog, blah, blah, blah. Wait. We should stop the first bit bump short and add a finger explosion. Erica Drayton, thanks for the host. Tip, we have other things to shake. The Wheelers beat the last of the crows off of them and start getting up. Wog, I swear. Right, meet you at the Chronicle. They pedaled off in separate directions. We get a brief montage of the cylindrical... Okay, so there's a specific format for montages in screenplays. So whenever you do have a montage, use the montage formatting listed in Screenwriter's Bible. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and save this. We get a brief montage. Okay. The mayor, 50, greets the Lullaby League, followed by the Lollipop Guild. A newspaper falls, knocks his hat off. Mayor, jumping jiggerbugs. Tip.
Ah, jeez. I'm so sorry, Mr. Mayor. Are you alright?
Tip is legitimately regretful, but the mayor nonchalantly dusts off his hat. I'm used to papers attacking me. You seem out of sorts, though. You're not in any trouble again, are you?
What, me? No. That is as long as you're sure we're okay with the hat thing.
Oh, it's the least of my problems at this point. Mayor redons the bent hat and stares worriedly at a purple ostrich-drawn carriage as it parks in the front of the hall. It's Langwidere, Prince of Ev. Princess of Ev, no doubt concerned about the Scarecrow's questionable new leadership. Yikes.
Hey, you've dealt with 2 wicked witches. How bad can she be?
Is this Scarecrow like Trump or something?
I don't know.
Yeah. That, my boy, depends on which head she'll be wearing. They see a beautiful young woman with a Gibson girl hairstyle remove her head through
This
the
is
side
like
window.
Return to Oz.
Really?
Yeah. There's a chick that no one can like change her head.
Oh.
It's creepy. You gotta see this movie, man. It's
Jeez,
the
I guess I
weirdest.
gotta see Return to Oz.
It's
Sounds
the
weird.
weirdest.
Sounds creepy as F.
Yeah.
It's not really inspiring me. It's like, it's terrifying. We're gonna watch it. You'll be scared the whole time. We're gonna watch this movie.
You have to keep in mind it was made in the 80s, so it's,
80s movies are weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yep.
80s movies terrify. Alright. Onwards and upwards.
Indeed.
Cursed, she brought head 17. You're probably going to want to leave as fast as possible.
Alright, good luck with that.
Cool. So one thing to think about in these first few pages, and we're on page 5, is that there's... True. Everyone's kind of like trundling along, but there's not really much for us to get a grip on. There's a lot of occurrences, but not like a single... Usually simplicity is the core of the first section of your book, because you can't really get too deep. So you're doing a lot of world building, which is an easy temptation. You have the guys with the wheel legs, and you have the murder crows and the puns, and the lady that switches her head out. But if you watch Return to Oz, I will almost assure you that they're dripping that stuff in as you go along. Mm-hmm. Like, this was actually something that Brandon Sanderson talked about in one of his lectures that somebody told me to watch on stream, and I was very glad I did, where he's like, you got to have a slow ramp into world building. If you have a wall like this, your reader won't get through it. So I think you're losing some of the momentum of your story because you're putting a lot of stuff in, and then you also haven't hit on a single plot. Like, this Tip kid is kind of running and doing something, but we don't know what. And he's running away from something, but he's kind of stopped them.
Delivering newspapers.
Yeah. We'll finish our routes at the rendezvous. Yeah, he's delivering newspapers.
And then they're going to rendezvous.
I'm going to meet the seeds this time. They use backing it now, but it seems like they're doing something daring. Like, delivering newspapers seems a little bit less, I don't know, intense. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm going to just put, like, a P. This is P5, I think. Delivering feels like a lot of world building and a bunch of unconnected moments tied in together. Like the mayor hat thing, I think is good because I think you're trying to introduce this girl, but the problem there is we're not like seeing one thought complete yet. Like we're seeing newspaper thing, they're gonna meet up, and then like mayor hat thing like put inside of it, and then the more like these like parentheses you stack, like you can't do that super fast. You have to like let one idea kind of develop, especially early on. Let one idea develop and become complete, and then start your other idea, and then you can start like nesting them. But it's usually really hard if you start nesting all these like things happening at once without like one kind of like, hey, this is like the kind of an event that has completed itself. You know, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be farting too, so it's all good. Get used to it.
We did have beans.
We did have beans for dinner. We're in El Paso, so Texas, you have to eat beans. Yeah. It's like Blazing Saddles.
And we ate Mexican food in New Mexico.
So trimming and focusing on completing the, newspaper thought before nesting others. Oh, good luck with that. The Oz Chronicle, interior. Tip enters jovially. Also, people on Periscope, I can see your comments, so if you guys want to, feel free to chat and ask questions about the screenplay writing as well. We have all the chat boxes up. Tip enters jovially. Tip, good afternoon. Rocky, a cluster of floating rocks. Oh yeah, Tip's the little high pitch.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Okay, you can be Tip.
Yay.
Rocky, a cluster of floating rocks in the rough shape of a hulking man bars Tip's way.
Hey, what's the big idea?
Prince Ruggado, 16, is a human-sized teen dressed in garden gnome apparel, but with a red cape and ruby-tipped scepter. Please excuse my associates. He lacks. Yeah, I guess they're all little kids in Munchkinland. Please excuse my associates. He lacks the respect deserving of a hard-working man, and you deserve better. Come, Rocky, we're done here. Rocky dissembles and reforms into a large wheel with a seat in the middle outside the door. Ruggado mounts, but flashes Tip a curious glance before rolling away. Concerned, Tip enters the back room to Miss Sepla, a giant squid with dress. So that's like one of the things I love, the color of the world, but I think you can pace yourself. Focus on the story. Focus on the characters. Something that a character is struggling with. The world is a temptation. Your story is your characters, and your story is conflict and like a hard goal and drama. The amount of attention you're giving to your world right now, I think, is really going to hamstring your ability to tell a story. A great question, Abby Moon. So we do two things. So in this one, we're editing. So we're reading Ozma on PDF, Adobe, and editing on Notepad++. But if I was actually writing a screenplay, I write on Final Draft. But if you want a free program, Celtx, CELTX, is a great screenplay program for writing screenplays. So this is actually a screenplay someone else submitted. They put in this, email us the screenplays. It's actually in the description. So I think there's like a little bar down on the bottom of Periscope or whatever, where you can lift that up. It'll give you a little description. Our email's there. So if you're writing screenplays or if you ever want edits, stuff like that. Yeah, Final Draft will read back to you. So it's very, very handy.
Fancy.
But it has like these weird robot voices. So we're kind of doing a little table read miniature version here, and we're editing. So we're kind of the whole spiel is this is one of our viewers from Twitch. He actually submitted this, so we're kind of taking a look at it, trying to see if we can help out. And if you guys have any notes, I wish I could make it landscape mode on this instead of portrait, but I'll figure that out on a future date. It's probably hard to read. You can always jump on Twitch. The link to our Twitch is there as well. But yeah, we'll read it aloud, so you'll hopefully get some of the gist of it as well. Rocky dissembles and reforms okay. She operates various machinery through leather sleeves protruding from the pipe. Wog is already looking through archives.
Is everything okay, Mrs. Sepla?
More than okay, Prince Ruggado. Prince Ruggado? I thought he was Tip.
So Prince Ruggado
just upgraded our entire press. What up, Fallen Clown? Yeah, I just stumbled onto you. Are you WGA? I am actually not. I used to do the screenwriting circuit and do a lot of that, but I've actually switched to novel writing. But I spent a long time as a reader. No. I love the interruptions, Abby. Please, this is why we do it on stream, because we love talking about screenwriting. So I used to work as a reader for a long time, and I loved giving notes. It helped me become a better writer. So I decided to do it on Twitch and kind of share what I learned as a reader. I did submit a bunch of screenplays, stuff like that, but I've actually switched to novel writing because in this industry, it's actually probably you truly have a better chance of getting a screen or a movie produced if you write a book and it gets published.
That's true.
And it has a built-in audience than if you just go straight into screenplay writing and try to write a spec script. It's possible, and I'm probably going to write another spec after I finish the novel I'm working on, but such is the way of things in the industry, at least as I experienced it last. I mean, it could have changed.
She was saying her brother's in the business.
Oh, your brother's in the business? Nice. It's a crazy world. Tell him, wish him the best.
Good luck, sir.
It's a lot of fun, though. I love screenwriting, and yeah, tell him to give us a follow if he wants to hang out. With machines that can't print negative stories about him. So you want to be Garrett Robinson? Indeed. Well, actually, I just love telling stories. The form to me, Fallen Clown, is more of like fluff. Like if it's a novel or if it's a screenplay, I like telling stories and I want to get them to as many people as I can. So screenplay was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about storytelling through it. My brother is a dev executive for Brian Grazier. Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's a
good.
lot of fun. It's a good gig. So he's probably reading a ton of screenplays and shaking his head sometimes. Yeah. Well, good for him. If he ever wants to read some of my old screenplays, I'm happy to send him over. But yeah, I've been focusing more on the novel world lately. I only write screenplays if people pay me. Now, at least for now.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. That's a really tough gig. Give him our thumbs up. I love doing it when he's not unit producing for Ron Howard. Nice. Well, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a crazy industry. Well, I mean, one of the reasons I switched out of screenwriting as well was my brother started a startup in San Francisco. Who else are you talking to? I can only see myself in chat and FinalBot. So the other there's actually we're not you're not crazy. So we're actually at Periscope going here,
Periscope.
which is pretty
Are you
fun.
on there, Grim Button?
Yeah. So there's some other
Grim
people
Button
saying what's
knows.
up. Grim Button knows.
Periscope.
But yeah, I loved Hollywood. But my brother started a company. And when your brother starts a company, you got to support your brother. So I stopped doing screenwriting and I moved up to San Francisco. And that was also one of the reasons I switched to novels, because it's a lot harder to get a screenplay produced if you're not in LA. So one of us, yeah. All our Twitch people are saying, Abby, they want you to join us on the Twitch stream. The link is in the little Periscope bio. So you're welcome to join us on Twitch. You can actually read it won't be like microscopic, which I know. But yeah, I loved LA and I love screenwriting still. It's such like a lean art form, much more than novels where you just have to pack. Like, novels are tough. I mean, gosh, I never understood how much hard. I really think they are harder than a screenplay, which is probably why so many novels get produced, because probably the amount of thought and work that goes into those stories is like exponential to like how much thought and work went into screen. And like, a lot of producers were like, yeah, we like this, like send us more. So like, I feel like my screenplay performed pretty well, but it still is just like it's so much harder writing a novel. I never had any idea. This part of me, I get his screeners at Christmas. So you get to read all the fun scripts and everything. That's pretty cool. Well, it's so fun being home for the holidays and hanging out with family. Like, I'm actually back home in Texas, which is just, fantastic. So I know. It's all this Diet Dr. Pepper and Mexican food in Texas will come back to haunt you. Watch. Oh, watch all this stuff. Oh, nice. Oh, you can see all the stuff.
Oh,
nice. All the previews, like little like rough cuts. That's fun. Got to do that for a few documentaries. I don't know what Periscope is.
It's an app.
Yeah, it's an app that's like Twitch. It's pretty much. I use my one encoder OBS to like stream to like 3 different platforms. One, I stream to Twitch. I stream to YouTube because it automatically records it for me, so I don't have to do all that. I don't have to like upload it and do all that crap anymore, which is super nice. And then I stream to Periscope because I used to edit on Periscope and I wanted to kind of try it out. Yes, it is getting hot. Should I turn the heat down? Are you getting cold? Okay. I'm just gonna scooch closer to the window here.
Yeah, you don't
No, the actual films the Academy members are voting for. Oh wow!
Oh.
Holy crap! That's awesome. Oh man, I misunderstood.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, I hope you have fun. That sounds like a blast. Going and checking out all that stuff. You see, Tip, after the royal family disappeared, Oz and the Ozmas and the wizard defeated the witches by controlling the presses. Okay, so let me see. Machines, hell or high water. Indeed. Which means they can't print negative stories about him. Okay, now I'm beginning to see your point. Your paychecks are on the desk, by the way. Wog shows Tip an old newspaper headlined Royal Family of Oz disappears. You see, Tip, after the royal family disappears, Oz and the Ozmas and the wizard defeated the witches by controlling the presses. Tip is mysteriously disturbed by the baby girl in the family portrait. He snaps out of it when Woz shows more recent paper headline, The Wizard of Oz disappears. Now that the wizards disappeared, Ruggado plans to defeat the scarecrows in the same way.
Well, the scarecrow is cursed.
Even if he was, could he control it any more than you or I could control being animals?
Not this again. Look, I'll find a way to get these machines printing anything we want tomorrow, okay?
Oh, has your mother,
Huh?
guardian, oh, it's there, jumping.
Let me see. Oh, has your mother,
Guardian,
has Mombi finally taught you some sort of magic?
you know I can do anything magic with simple tools.
Oh, really? Can you bring a scarecrow to life?
Tip pauses, touches his temples, paces, and waves his hands in front of him, curling in his own world. After a moment, he grins.
Come to my house. I'll totally show you how to bring a scarecrow to life without magic.
Login and Sepla exchange baffled glances.
Well, I do hope you have a splendid day, Mrs. Sepla. I, for one, am anxious to see where this goes.
They exit the Chronicle, mount their bikes, and take off down the red brick road.
Red brick road. Not yellow.
Dun dun dun! Towards the Wicked Witch.
Ooh.
Beware the red brick road. So yeah, one thing to be aware of is like you're having trouble, I think, hiding the seams on your exposition here, and I think it's because you're trying to pack a lot in, and also because it's a little bit light on conflict. Starting to show. I think it's my Periscope name is just final _boss editing. I think it's one of those.
I haven't been on in a while.
It's this is hard. Actually, I'm not sure. I just like. I think it's because I love technology. I just end up setting up this stuff and like not knowing what the hell's happening.
I don't have it on my phone. Never mind.
But yeah, it's like final boss edit or editing or something like that. Forgive me.
One of those.
Forgive me.
Currently alive.
Oh, it won't show on Facebook Live.
No, I know.
Yeah. I started a Facebook account. Maybe I'll Facebook Live it.
Did?
Yeah.
Oh, I should friend it.
Final boss editing. Maybe I should set that up. It's gonna be on Periscope. Oh yeah, you're saying. All right, so then yeah, exposition is starting to show through a little bit here, which is tough. So you want to add conflicts. I know you have Tip kind of being concerned about this paper and like about the use of the presses and Oz as like this source of controlling the government. But I feel like unless it's really surfacing in the scene or they're, I feel like Tip is very passive right now. He's just handing out papers. He doesn't want anything. The best conflict usually comes from, hello, fallen clown. I see you're on my YouTube now. Getting warmer. He's like, it's so much fun. I love jumping between platforms. It's the best. I think it's just like I got kind of caught up in how cool it is to like set up a encoder and do all this fun stuff, and then I ended up just like streaming to everything.
All of them. I think you get more distracted though because you're like talking to them, I'm talking to them.
It's true. It lets my ADD truly flourish.
Yeah.
So add conflict, and the best kind of conflict.
It's an app.
I think it's a mobile app, Fallen Clown. But the best kind of conflict comes from a character wanting something and getting said no to. One of the best examples of this is the TV show Stranger Things. I think you have to download on mobile phone, to be honest. Or they may have a web portal, but I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure it's mainly mobile. Unless they're expanding. But have a character want something, push for something, and get somebody to say no to. Abby Moon, what's up?
Oh, hey.
Hey, girl.
You found us.
Hopefully it's a little bit easier to see. I'll reply here. But yeah, hopefully it's a little bit easier to see on the actual one.
But, I found him on Periscope, Fallen Clown.
Yeah, what was my name on Periscope? I should
Final Boss Editing.
Yeah, Final Boss, Final _boss editing.
Download it on your phone, Fallen Clown.
Yeah, but anyways, in any platform you prefer.
Yes.
But the best conflict is when the character wants something and they get said no to. The best example of this is Stranger Things. They have conflict in every single scene. Every single scene. Like, even like the kid wants to go to the park or he wants to talk about something. On iPhone, you're so small.
It's very small.
Yeah. It's all good. Such is the way of iPhones.
At least on iPhone, I think you can turn it so it's landscape
I think you can make it landscape mode on iPhone, so you might be able to still see it. But it also works on desktop. So if you ever buy your computer, it's a much more comfortable viewing experience.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also some other fantastic streamers. So if you like the writing streams, a bunch of people, I have their little tags listed below. You can give them a follow. There's a little follow button, and it'll notify you when they go live.
Mm-hmm.
But a bunch of those people down below also will write and stream. And there's a really cool writing community and film community here. So yeah, enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
One of us.
the joy. One of us. But yeah, so having people say no, him getting disconcerted by something is a little bit of conflict, but it's not the kind of conflict you really need to be driving your early plot. You really want this momentum to start building up. Yeah, it's true. I want to start integrating. I think that's going to be one of the things I'm going to do, Fallen Clown, is integrate all the different chats into one. But I haven't had the time to do it yet. Unfortunately, the Periscope chat only shows up on Periscope. But yeah. But she joined us. So thank you. Welcome, Abby Moon. Thank you for jumping in. It's nice to have you hanging out on Twitch. And feel free to give us a follow. There's a little button, and then it'll notify you next time we're hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, add conflict that has punch and just trim back exposition. I feel like you're spending a lot of time really describing a lot of stuff. It's okay to move a little bit faster and get us to the story. Okay, they exit the Chronicle, mount their bikes, and take off down the road. Well, okay, so come to my house and I'll totally show you how to bring a scarecrow to life without magic. Okay, a little challenge. It sets us up. Welcome, I will follow. Well, I do hope you have a splendid day, Miss Sepla. I, for one, am anxious to see where this goes. They exit the Chronicle, mount their bikes, and take off the red brick road.
Cabin looks like it's been carved on a hill, with an unkempt garden in front, pumpkin crops leading off screen.
To the right, across the road, Wog plunks a tripwire. A snare jerks Jack. A jack-o'-lantern hit a scarecrow from a rocking chair into the arms raised standing position. Tip and Wog are startled by their own creation. You'll stop someone's heart with this, but it's not exactly alive.
I'll tell you what, when the next passerby sees it relaxing in the rocking chair, they'll cautiously approach for a closer look. And when they trip this wire, we'll let them judge how alive it is.
They sit Jack back into the sitting position, restring the trap, and make their way to the cabin. So I like this characteristic of Tip, that he's kind of like a little crafty guy, and he may not have the magic, but he is sure going to figure out a way to make this thing happen anyways. So I like that. I think that's a really good thing, and I think bringing that in earlier, maybe bringing that challenge in earlier, I feel like this is kind of where we're hitting our feet, is like this lady is asking him, you don't have magic, what are you going to do? And he's doing his little trick. So I think this is a good thing that you may want to prioritize earlier. It's hard for me to know besides introducing that lady and the mayor.
He's not even there.
Yeah, but like, I think he's trying to set it up. I feel like that's kind of like the writer goals showing. And no matter how much I charge my phone, it always seems to be out of battery. Ain't that the truth? And that is very true, Grim Button. There is an awesome writing community and editors on Twitch, and I've been really pumped to be able to hang out and be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of really cool people, really talented people. You can stream to more than one platform with OBS.
Jeff is determined little bugger.
I'm determined. I found a way. It's actually a system called editing a screenplay. Yeah, join. There we go. Yeah, it just rips sometimes. But yeah, it's this thing called restream.io. So it's pretty slick. I should have a little like hotkey on what all the sorcery I use to make this thing work. I probably will set that up one day. Yeah, I feel like the story is picking up. Getting the momentum, and I like tips. Yeah, I like him thinking around, like, everyone likes a clever protagonist. Protagonist who solves problems in smart ways is always more kind of enthralling. So keep that. Oops. That's it. Okay, so they enter the cabin, 2 sofas in the living room, one with its back to the door, one with its back to the kitchen. To the left, there's a large window with wilting palm leaves scraping the glass. To the right, we see the head of a gump, a moose-like creature mounted on the Tip heads to the kitchen and starts brewing some coffee while Wog stands at the window. Skipping noise grows louder. Wog sees Dorothy, 13, wearing a blue and white checkered sundress sun hat. What do you see? Oh, your Tip.
What do you see, Wog?
It's a girl, a human girl.
Is she pretty?
So the screenplay is about Oz. So it's kind of like this like post Wizard of Oz. It's like kind of like the month.
But I don't know.
28 days later.
Dorothy's there.
You're a human. You can tell me. Tip looks out the window. Wog notices a hint of shock. You should talk to her.
Talk to her? What am I gonna say?
I don't know, something witty. Oh, I read somewhere that human girls like to be compared to angels. So if you can ask her if it hurt. Did what hurt?
What hurt?
She'll say that, and it'll be your cue to say when you fell from heaven.
That's the dumbest thing
Snap, the trap springs, and Dorothy darts off screaming. Tip flashes Wog a glare and darts outside. It's a trick, hold on, it's not real. So I like to see their plan backfire. I still don't really get a sense of their goal. So it's hard for me to kind of feel that. I mean, because we're on page 10, so we're kind of wanting to, in a screenplay, you have to be so efficient. We're kind of wanting to see where the arc of the story is going to come from. Happy New Year, Abby. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good one. Page 9. Want to start seeing the arc of the story here. I like that Abby, lol. Yeah. That Tip's plan backfires. But I really want to see a bigger cost than I want to see it hurt the main goal, but it's hard because I don't know it. Yeah, because I think it gives that sense of stakes. Because what's really been lost by Dorothy running away? She was a stranger that was like walking up to their door and she ran away. It sounds like that could have been a good thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe Dorothy's like a murderer or something. Who knows? So giving that sense of like we're trying to find, like maybe it's like we're trying to find Luke Skywalker, whatever. Trying to find Dorothy. Oh my God, there's Dorothy! It scares her away. Like more is lost than just the scene. I really think that's a good mechanic. I think like having Dorothy, come in, get kind of freaked out, and then run away. Yeah. Is a great scene moment, especially because it is from his little trick. But I think you can make that scene moment pay more story level dividends by having it tie into a bigger plot that you just need to introduce earlier. Mm-hmm. It's a trick. Hold on, it's not real. Tip sees her rounding a corner, already too far away to hear him. Thinking fast, he runs across the red brick road, grabs Jack, and cuts through the woods. He hooks its wooden arms around his neck, slides down a cable, bounces off a mushroom, swings on a rope. Finally emerges in front of Dorothy. Stop! It's just a bunch of sticks and strings, see? I'm Jack. I like to dance.
Well, you certainly gave me an awful fright. I gotta admit, it was pretty clever.
Tip stares for a moment. Wog, hiding in a tree, throws an acorn at Tip's head. Hey, my friend told me to ask, did you come from heaven? Wog slaps down his forehead in embarrassment.
Oh, much better. I'm from Kansas.
Kansas? Are you that witch slayer that everyone's been talking about with magic shoes and flying house?
Well, in so many words, that sounds like me. I'm Dorothy.
Like a freaking what's that like Snow White and the Huntsman? Like it's like kind of like a retelling like that. Where I'm like, I come in and clean up the
Hansel
town.
And Gretel, like.
Yeah, Hansel and Gretel, Deep and Under. Yeah, those are pretty fun. Kansas, are you that witch slayer? Everyone's in so many words. Sounds like me. I'm Dorothy. The branch that Wog is hiding and snaps, and he falls between them, nearly breaking the ukulele he carried out there. Dorothy, you mean my buddy, Wog.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Wog.
The pleasure's mine. Hey, didn't come to put this pumpkin head back and come right...
Why don't I put this pumpkin head back?
And come right back. He hands Tip a ukulele with a wink before carrying Jack into the woods and cuts through the woods. Tim begins to strum lightly. So I heard you went back to Kansas. What are you doing back in Oz? Dorothy's tone turns to a quirky song with a hint of sadness. Rainbow duet.
I'm back from under the rainbow, rolling wheat plains grow.
So it seems to me I could go with my friends. I'm going to need them again to find my family. Dun dun dun. Chip has an epiphany. Emotions for Dorothy to fall.
There's no place like home wherever I turn. I must have something else to learn. But the
Raise
lesson evades me, the way there escapes me.
Okay, hands her ukulele, grabs a banjo, they both start playing. You're black, the witch sang girl. Cool. And that's the end of the section.
Okay.
Well, great job. Let's talk through some overall notes.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something. I could. Unfortunately, Periscope does not integrate with their chat app yet, or else I would not have it open up on my phone because it is kind of annoying. But I agree, Fallen Clown. I was initially using that when I was doing YouTube, but no one ever really comments on YouTube, so
True.
most of the people
Except
come
you,
through
Fallen
Twitch.
Clown.
Yeah, except when you jump over. But yeah, I mostly use the Twitch one because it's the primary one. But even my Periscope chat has been pretty limited.
Mm-hmm.
So like we haven't gotten another one since Abby was hanging out.
No.
So strange, but yes,
Stranger things.
they don't integrate the chat level yet. They just, I mean the actual encoder on Periscope is really jank. Like it's really ghetto. So I don't think they've really built out their platform streaming just yet. But I think they will one day. Okay, so overall, the goods. Really like Tip's character. I think he's a really well thought out character. I don't say this often. Watch podcast with Baron Robinson and nobody in chat talked until I started to write. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Tip's character is super well developed. I like his craftiness and cleverness and solving problems. And what's interesting, I think you do a great job with world building, almost too good of a job. Building is well done and creative, but be sure to focus. Yeah, first on story. Yeah, we went to White Sands in El Paso today.
I scrubbed my hair like 3 times and I still am finding sand.
I'll say improve, not bad. If you need the exposition, bring in more conflict. But you most likely don't. I always think I need more exposition than I actually do. Trust your reader. They really know what they want. I think clean up scene structure a little bit. Some things felt kind of jumpy and i.e. story shifted a lot, and sometimes scenes would start with tons of description where others wouldn't. So kind of just make sure you're having this consistent pace to how you're doing your scenes, where it's slug line, 2 lines about 2 sentences, not even lines, maybe 1 line about what the scene looks like, the characters, and then emotion, and then boom, going into the dialogue, and breaking up every 3 or 4, having an action to accompany it. This is kind of that pace you're looking for. I think sometimes you had it, but other times you kind of got really bogged down in description. Other times a little bit too little. Uno más.
Uno más team?
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. So we can edit 1 more. 1 more indeed.
Get through that queue.
Get through that queue, man. I've been a bad boss.
Have we been through the oldest ones?
Stuck in silence. Yeah, these are like the oldest ones.
Okay, cool.
So these are like the Octobers. Oh, sad. Such a slacker. Alright. I'm going to download this into Microsoft Word. And then I'll edit this in Word. Pardon me, there will be a slight intermission.
You should put your little intermission up.
Should I put my little intermission up?
I like your intermission.
Alright, we'll put the intermission up. You can still hear us talking, but intermission time.
While we get stuff going.
I hope you guys like the intermission thing. I think it's pretty sweet. Alright. So I want to... Just kind of curious now. Let's see. Alrighty, editing. Duplicate. Microsoft Word edit. I'm gonna add window capture, Word. Yeah, I'm still talking you through everything I'm doing, but you can hear my beautiful voice on the airwaves.
Silky.
Silky and smooth. In Word. Yikes, is that not gonna work? That's sad. In Word, no work. Boo. I guess I'm gonna have to use Firefox. And that's why we have the intermission.
Yep.
Because Firefox actually works. Alrighty. Try to zoom this in just a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. All right. And we're back. That is so slick.
What?
Like it lets you like do like studio mode. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I love the technology almost more than the writing. Code hide, debug sober. Yeah, that's a writing tip. All right. We'll do the first 5-10 pages of this, and we can talk through it.
Sounds good. Have you cooled down yet?
No, I'm still boiling hot.
Still dying?
Yep, still dying.
Okay, cool.
That's my life. The life of eternal death.
Yeah.
Welcome to writing, boys. All right, Cutting Connections by Autumn M. Peak.
You're not going to open the doc?
Oh, no, I can't. So
oh, sorry, I missed that. I wasn't paying attention.
Wait, you weren't paying attention to my beautiful stream.
No.
Okay. This is the page where you put dedications. Might not, you know, if you're looking for publication, oops. I'm actually in Texas, so I'm back home in my motherland. Should I actually sign in? Yeah, I should sign in as Final Boss, huh? No, sign with a different account. You'll all see my real name now. How terrible. Just kidding. Just so she's like, who's anonymous that's like posting on my freaking thing? There we go.
That's how.
Signed in as the right person. So you may not need this dedication section here. If you're syncing a start with the story, you may not need to allot this space yet. Seeing?
Publication.
Rather than self-publish. Cool.
Alrighty.
So there's some other notes. Chapter 1, Pushed Around. Daisy Carter walks into school with her mindset as cloudy as it normally is. As she looks around, she notices the wide, cold tile hallways filling with people laughing, smiling, and standing with their groups of friends. Her curly brown hair bounces around her anchor tank top. She wore a long skirt covered in triangles. Cool. As cloudy as it normally is. So I like that sense of the habitual. To have the sense of habitual. So this gives a lot of, so whenever you start a chapter with something that kind of references the past in a little bit, it makes it feel like the habit. That's good. One thing to think about is that usually the best times is when it's twisted. Like when you have that habitual moment, but it actually is like changed for the worse. So you're like the heat sweat started earlier that day. Well, why'd they start earlier? So you want something that's going to start a question. I think one of the books that does it really well is called Visit from the Goon Squad. And I think one of the ones for him was like, let me see if I have it. I have it in my written right up, and it's like, like the guilt memories started earlier that day.
Yeah.
And it's like what kind of person? So one is interesting. It's like, what kind of person has like guilt memories or whatever?
Why are they starting earlier?
Yeah. So like this is really good. Like, why is her mindset cloudy? One thing to think about is adding that sense of difference, and consider adding what makes today special. Here too. Great. She's watching people with her friends as everyone makes their way to the next class. Everyone turned to look at her with sharp eyes, and they whispered and laughed. Looking down, she took small, nervous steps to her first class of English. She stepped into the classroom, her palms sweating as she thought of scenarios that could happen to class. Fatty, a boy yelling. Other boys laugh and point at her. The word fatty echoes through the room. Teenagers, the hall, turns to yell at her as well. The young boy walks up to her with a teasing grin on his face. Go kill yourself, he laughs before walking over to his friends and gives him a high five. That's really mean.
Yeah.
Jeez. Humiliated, she runs toward the bathroom. Upon arrival, she pushes the door open and in a hurry makes her way to the last stall. Closing the door, she sits down on the toilet seat and places her hands on her face, tears falling down her cheeks. I think this is starting with conflict, which I think is interesting and like a good problem for the character. Yeah, she has to. So like we as the reader are like, whoa, that's really messed up. She has to face down these cruel people. One thing to think about is it gets into like things a bit suddenly. You may want to spend some more time setting the scene and setting it in her head a little bit. So you do spend a little bit of time with her worrying about thoughts of scenarios that could happen in the class. Because one thing is it feels really sudden. Like, so she kind of gets into school and people are immediately attacking her. That may be the scenario, the feel you're going for. But one thing to consider is, have her go to school, kind of give a little bit more. You don't have to do much. Maybe another like few paragraphs of just like her description. Is she afraid? Have her like heart pounding. She has her small nervous steps for first class. That's a really good thing. But she's like, maybe instead of having a general boy yelling, maybe have her be worried about one person. So the more focused the antagonism is, the more relatable it is. So maybe she's worried about like Steve saying these terrible things to her, and she like is going through the hall slowly, avoiding it.
Or maybe like she drops something in the hallway and she's dreading like she has to bend over and pick it up, and she knows that the boys are gonna be like, "Ew, what a fatty bending over, like big butt," or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like her pants rip or something.
I think this is a really like sad moment for this character, but I really want to care about the character first. So like spending a little bit of time in her head helps me do that and be like, oh, like this is a person who's having a hard time. I want them to be successful. So it'll get me deeper into the story. And then it'll also, give me more of the world. Like we had that really good description of like the world coming in with the hallway. But like what makes this school unique? What makes it special? Like that to me feels like, kind of the Donnie Darko, like stereotypical like class where like they're all like going around. But then in Donnie Darko, it twists and they're like doing coke and like doing all this crazy stuff. And you're like, what is up with this high school? Humiliated, she runs for the bathroom. Upon arrival, she pushes the door open. Hurry makes her way to the last stall. Closing the door, she sits on the toilet seat and places her hands in her face. So I write around 10K to 17K words a day. This kind of creeps me out. I wish. Good for you.
10,000 words a day? Holy
it's more than me.
Yeah. I was like, I did 500.
Yeah, I do 500. I'm a slow writer, though. Later, she covers the cuts that she made, wrapping her toilet paper and open wounds. But different strokes for different folks,
Wait.
Oh.
Without thinking, she grabs something sharp hidden in her bag. She glanced at it as she turns her left arm around, pushing it on the skin. The cool matter punctures her delicate.
Oh, jeez. She covers the cut, so she's a cutter. Yeah. Okay. One thing to think about is I would really, and this is something I had to work on in my writing a lot, is I would really get us into her head. So think about interiority as another stream of dialogue. What is the internal, and treat it like dialogue, have it not necessarily be on the nose, have it talk about things in a circuitous way. Like, cause my own thoughts, like, I'm not like, I'm sad because this person said something. Like, usually if someone does say like, I'm thinking like, I'm crap, I'm not good, like everyone thinks I'm an idiot. I just want to escape. So like those types of things, you can't necessarily name whatever it is, but give us that internal dialogue. Cause like, seeing that she's a cutter is really important. But that reveal is going to need some cushioning of her thoughts to make me feel like it's smooth and part of the story. Bring in some interiority to show us, to give us her thoughts for this moment. What is she thinking about herself that leads her to this? Is this something common? All right, first. Yeah, it's okay to have those telling moments every now and then. It's the second class of the day, and already she thought things couldn't get worse. Well, it did. She walked into the classroom, and everyone throws crumpled paper balls at her. She tries to avoid them, but they continue to throw them. She's confused as to why they're bullying her. She gets down on her knees and picks up the paper, then walks to an empty chair. She uncrumbles one of the paper balls, and her eyes focus, reading the words. Unlevel with lines in the piece of paper. Her emotions went high. She takes in the words, horrified. She throws. So I don't know what the words are. You may want. It feels like that interior, and this may be a thing that I struggle with in my writing too, is getting that interiority. Because if we were in her heads, we would have seen the words. So it's okay to go ahead and show us. The reader will relate to her pain more. If we see the words. Chapter 2, Pencil to Paper. Daisy was sitting in her last class of the day. She looked at the clock while waiting for the time to pass. She smiled happily when she remembered the songwriting club meeting taking place after school. That's awesome. I've seen a lot of the dark side of Daisy.
No, this is somebody else.
Is this Daisy? No. Is this the same person? Daisy Carter. Yeah, it's Daisy Carter.
Okay.
Yeah. This is great. I've seen a lot of the dark side of Daisy. It's good to see what she likes and cares about. This will create her goal to come. And it'll be a mix. It'll be a mix of running away from the fear. You know, it's like that fear and love type dichotomy. It's like running away from the fear, running towards the love. It's like corny as that is. But it's like, hey, what is the character afraid of? What is the character running from? And that will start to formulate your overarching goal. Signals her mechanical pencil on her desk, which makes noise. The hand on the clock moves slowly as it ticked away steadily. Each stroke passed. Jayla grew happier. No one could take that smile from her face. The bell rings. I throw my backpack on my shoulder.
I throw my feet.
POV shift.
She decided to go to first person.
Yeah, and that works. Like, you know, you'll see a lot of modern novels do this, where they'll go between first and third person. They'll jump between, like, you know, one of the novels I read uses a PowerPoint deck as like part of the novel. So you can get as crazy as you want. One thing is, I would just caution, POV shifts are tough to pull off.
Seems like maybe it's like not sure, because I think I've done that before. Like, oh, maybe I'll switch it to, and then you don't switch it all the way, or like you forget and you're like, oh, that only because I've done that. Like, oh, maybe I'll switch to first person, and then I forget to change it.
If this is intentional, just keep an eye out. If not, you know, it's easy, you know, to change to he, or, you know, to a she. Then I start walking into the classroom, taking steps toward my locker, putting everything in there because I have no homework from any of my classes. I think to myself, am I good enough as I walk to the classroom that the songwriting club occupies? I walk in standing as I look at all the teenagers sitting down in a circle, sighing and letting the nerves out as I walk in the chair in the circle and sit down. The teacher looks at Daisy and asks, Miss, are you here to join? I nod, yes. So that is where a POV gets tricky, and this is kind of one of the pitfalls of that shifting POV is, you know, looks at me. So this would probably be, I'm going to turn on commenting here, suggesting. But this is probably one of those times where it's just, you know, whether you want to have POV shifts or not, it's really your call. But it just adds that extra layer of complexity. You know, you're going to be jumping a lot. So just think about that. Yes, I can. The girl looks over and waves. I look at the nice-looking girls, and my eyes start to glow, hearing all their songs. Everyone turned and looked at me. One of the girls asked with a friendly, warm voice, do you have songs or ideas to share? My mind starts spinning. I get nervous, and my palms start to sweat. Looking around, everyone's smiling at me. I grab my blue, fake leather notebook. Opening my notebook, in the first page of songs I look up. Guys, I do have a song that I finished, I nervously glared at the girls. Some of the girls look at me walking up and sitting next to me. I look at them. Hey, I managed to say, as I rest my hands on my notebook. The girls smile. One of them says, hey, you seem cool, and your song was deep. The two girls start thinking about what to say. One of the girls has a questionable expression on her face. Do you mind telling us what the song is about and the emotion behind it? As I look to the clock and check 3. So I missed the part. So you may want to expand the part where they're actually reading it. Usually, and if I think even as a writer, like when someone else is reading my work, I'm usually like thinking and like looking at their reaction. So it feels like that moment passes really quickly because it feels like they didn't read it. Like I was like, oh wait, did they read it? So yeah, so one, expanding that will be a good thing because it'll show us more of her character. How is she like trying to pull information out of them and understand, and so forth. Expand this out with her perceptions and perhaps over analysis. It's personal. I'm not comfortable what it's about yet. The two girls nod as I look at the clock and check the time. I have to go. I stand up, walking out of the class to the front doors of the school, slowly dragging my feet on the sidewalk as I walk home. Wind blows and my hair flew into my face. Same time the wind blows, a car drives by, splashing and soaking me with a puddle of water that was left from the rain. I sighing, started to cry. So one thing is like I would consider spending a paragraph, and it's tough to get in the habit, for me at least it was, spend a paragraph setting the scene. Because it's tough when you use a scene element before setting it up. So when you say I got splashed by a puddle, but you maybe haven't mentioned that the puddle is part of the scene and it rained recently and it was like still cloudy and overcast, it's going to be hard for me to really, it'll make me be like, okay, wait, was there a puddle? So it'll slow down that read. So your goal as a writer is to make that read crystal smooth. And one of the ways to do that is spending like a little bit of time, because it's a great use of like, hey, the puddle splashes them. But, bringing that in a little bit earlier helps. Consider adding a paragraph of scene description. Yeah, I should check. Description. Showing the puddle before it comes in to make us ready. Prepare us. Make ready the path. Ooh, FinalBot's having a nice conversation with itself. Yeah.
Don't forget, FinalBot. Don't forget to use the power of the FinalBot.
Yeah. FinalBot's telling it to itself. FinalBot has some issues.
It's reminding itself not to forget to use itself.
So as you think about this as a writer, like probably the things that I would encourage you to do is look at one thing that helped me is you go and read like a novel and highlight all the different things, like highlight the scene description with one color, highlight the interior thoughts with another color, highlight the the dialogue's kind of obvious, may not need to highlight that, but that's dialogue, and then highlight the the action, right? Because there's scene description and there's action and stuff happening. So you can see what these professional writers, they are doing and how they're proportioning it. And different books will have different levels of that stuff. So like some books will be only dialogue and action. Some books, like fantasy books that are trying to explain a world, will really expand out that scene and stuff. So just take a look. That helped me a lot, at least. Sighing, I started to cry. Before turning the street I live on, I wiped my face. My clothes are wet and heavy, which made it hard to walk, so I walked slowly as I dragged my feet through the street. Crying as I walked inside my house, I ran upstairs to my room, pushing the door open and slamming it shut. Loud noise the door made me jump up my bed with my wet clothes on, burying my face in the pillow. Pressing the razor to my skin, making it slit, I feel the blood outside of my body. So again, I really feel like we want to. So it feels like a sudden progression without that interior thought. Because you're like, okay, cool, she's home, and then boom, she's doing cutting again. I think it would really help you reveal this character by digging in deep and kind of showing her thought progression that gets her
especially
to
because
cutting.
she just got like a compliment from those girls. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not sure why she's.
She got a compliment recently, so it feels surprising that she's cutting again. Consider expanding on her interior thoughts so our readers can follow along. Also, I would wonder, also, maybe in that interiority, show that she's looking to get help. I mean, I think one of the things that, anybody that encounters that, that does do cutting, usually will want to get help pretty quickly. So I would be curious, as a reader, I'd be curious to say, okay, this character, I imagine they'll be trying to get help, and this would be going into their thought process. So that would probably be something that I would be looking for, that interiority to say, hey, I talked with the school counselor, XYZ, and this, that, and the other thing. My wrists are bleeding. I text my friends. I just got my mind settled. I smile, starting to the hum. As a noise, I glare at the notebook that is open on my lap with the blue lines on it. Oh man, this is going fast. We're already on page 7.
Dang.
I know. We may from lack of sleep end up closing out at 10 per normal.
Stages of a cold hitting me. So
yeah. With my wrist still beating, I text my friends. Just in my mind settled. I smile, starting to hum. glare at the notebook that's open on my lap with blue lines on it and a clean sheet. My eyes start watering. I put words on my paper. My hand starts moving across. I look at the page and smile. I think to myself about the school day. Still looking at the page with my song that I'm still working on, nod to myself. Put my notebook on my nightstand. I get up to get off the bed. Oh. What's up, Moocher? Oh, wow, a lot of people. The Ozma edit.
What about it?
Yes, we actually just finished the Ozma edit, Cyber Jackalope. But I can actually, since you're live, we can finish this edit, and I can go and we can talk through some of the notes real quick before we go to bed, because I appreciate you jumping on live. Moocher, welcome.
Hello, Mooch.
Right now, we actually finished Ozma. Sorry, Cyber Jackalope. But I liked it. I want to kind of talk at least through my overall notes. Yeah. We're reading Cutting Connections, first draft. This is a book about someone who is getting bullied at school and is a cutter. So it's intense.
Very sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. Sad to see that happen. Page 7. I remember I'd already written 2 sites of notes on your first 5 pages. Yeah.
Late here in future Georgia?
It's late here, yeah. We're in Texas, so we're 1 hour closer, Moocher. But thanks for stopping by. I hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
It's always good to see you and catch up. Yeah, but we'll talk, Cyber. We'll talk. We'll be back in one minute. Because we normally do the first 10 pages of the stuff we read. So we'll do the first 10 where we're on 7 out of 10. So we're kind of wrapping up. But yeah, I mean there are thankfully some pretty good things I think that this writer can benefit from, hopefully. But I will continue because I want to make sure I give this my full attention. Putting my notebook on the nightstand, I get off of the bed. I walk to my black dresser in my long closet and then open the top drawer, grabbing some underwear. I open the right under the grab my cleaning strap and the nightgown is wet. Walk into the room where the bathroom is. Closing, I turn to hang my clothes on the hook. After that, I grab a towel and toss it over the shower rod, splashing hot water, takes a bath. So, like, the bath description is really detailed. So I would take this detailed description and pepper it through a little bit more, because I think, this is giving me more of the scene. So consider between your big moments doing some of this.
That's what she says here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Marlies. Bring this detailing into the other big moments of your draft as well. Yeah. Getting good editors on here. Always great to see you indeed, Mucha. We gotta next time if you're ever out in San Francisco, we'll grab you guys. We'll go grab a beer. Closing the door to the bathroom. I actually think Bookfish might come to San Francisco, and she wanted to grab dinner with us.
Down.
So yeah, her and her brother.
Oh, what's she doing out there?
She just was like, I wanted to go to the States, and you're the only person I know in the States. And I was like, yeah, sure, come on by.
Super down.
Take you out for dinner and
When's she coming?
Say hi.
That's like
I think in February.
Okay, cool.
So like the mid to late months. That should be a lot of fun, seeing old Bookfish. Closing the door of the bathroom, I turn to hang my clothes on the hook. After that, I grab a towel and toss with the shower rod. Cool, yeah. Water fills up. I lay in the bath, refreshing a scoot down. Water move. Grab shampoo, bottle up, wash my hair. Phone vibrates, I start getting dressed. I wrap my hair in a towel. I throw my nightgown over, push my arm through the holes. Looking over at the sink, I see my phone. I grab my phone and turn to the heading. So yeah, I think I feel like you have these moments. Like I feel a little bit like we're missing what she's thinking, and I think you know what this character's thinking, but and I really see it between the lines here, because like she's in the bath, she's relaxed. There is something going on in her head, like finally the day is done. I get to relax. It's all quiet. So like I don't hear their voices, like these types of things. So like I think this is like a really great quiet moment after kind of her excitement at school and like the kind of the intense cutting moments.
Yeah.
But I really want to get plugged into her head.
It's a good time to like get plugged into her head.
be comfortable with sharing the characters' thoughts, how they sound in their head. No need for perfect sentences. If I could spell sentences, just right now. So yeah, that interiority, I look for it in books I read now, and it's more ever present. And it's the thing, it feels so natural, but it's everywhere in many books. And like you don't think about it because you always have that internal dialogue with you. So yeah. Well, walking back to my room, I looked at my phone. See a couple of messages while in the bath. Okay. Once I reply to them. Oh, nice. So she's playing it cool with the Songwriting Club girls. Text messages to girls from the song. Hey. NBD. I didn't get this on the first read. I know Samantha did. Maybe I'm just less. My girl brain is not working.
Yeah.
Maybe Fox got it. She got it on the first read. She's like, oh yeah, she's playing it cool. Maybe just, and I think the thing I'm really aching for is that interior thought. So just consider clarifying, telling a little bit. So you do so much showing, which is fantastic. Like show, don't tell, but it is okay to tell sometimes, and especially when it comes to motives and new goals. Like I'm going to do this now. Telling and being absolutely precise around motives and goals is okay. Because I have to do that for my writing, because like that's the stuff you don't want your reader to be second guessing. You want them to know exactly why they're doing something and what they're planning on doing next, almost all the time. Motives and goals. So show her playing it cool. Motive here. Or consider, yeah. Once I replied to them, I walked to the kitchen to get some food. I opened the fridge cabinets at the same time, searching for something good to eat. Glancing back at the fridge, I see a pot of macaroni and cheese. Grabbing the pot happily, I set it on the stove and turn the stove on the medium heat, waiting for the macaroni to heat up. I look at my phone to read the text that says, try online dating. I say to myself out loud. Text back, I've never thought of that, but I'll try. Where do I go?
Is it like mean, or is it like an actual, like, hey, we should try online dating?
Yeah. Yeah, I do kind of wonder. Idea of Foster starts here. Consider less detailing. Yeah, so you do a lot of detailing, like so grabbing the pot happily, I set it on the stove and turn it to medium. You probably don't need the medium heat part, because we're going to assume that you're setting something on the stove, you're turning the flame on. So, and this is kind of that shorthand that I think that I still struggle with as a writer. I'm very detailed. I kind of over detailed. And most of the notes I get is like, cut this, cut this, cut this. And it makes your scene like twice as good, because the reader is smart. They're going to be like, oh yeah, she put it on the stove. She's not going to be heating anything. She's going to turn the heat on. But then you can spend that extra room expanding out the things that are a little bit more ambiguous. So she's looking at a phone and reading a text from who? A friend? Like, a text, try online dating from that mean boy in school could mean something very different than a text that, maybe like a text bot that's just advertising to her. Like, cause that's how it works.
And now I want mac and cheese, so...
We can make some mac and cheese. Maybe this stream will be cut short, drastically cut short. Ghost of M, what's up? Life for L. Life for Rixel. Oh, wow, I've missed a lot of chat. Shame on me. Bad streamer alert. Shame. Always great to see you, Moocher. Well, thanks for the Happy New Year's Eve, Ghost of M. Happy New Year's 2017. I hope you're still on, but thank you. I much appreciate it. Find internal thoughts are the biggest thing that separates.
We're going to be shooting off fireworks in El Paso, so
Yes.
That'll be fun.
That is absolutely correct, Cyber Jackalope. And as a screenwriter going into writing novels, my internality was really weak. And I got called out on it because I'm doing an MFA in fiction, not screenwriting. So yeah, like I was like, they were like, "Whoa, like this is like I'm watching a movie." Okay, so legitimately verbatim what they said.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Yeah, it's because I'm used to writing screenplays." The internality is really important in writing and in in novel writing. In screenplays, what is very important is finding ways to visualize the internal. And, whether it's a character tick. So, like, one of the great famous film examples of this is in Seven Samurai, Kurosawa. Like, whenever, like, the guy is, like, worried or thinking, he, like, rubs the back of his head. And, like, it's
or
like...
in Foundation, the mule always does, like, 4 fingers on his nose.
Yeah, like, he's, like, thinking.
It's always 4 fingers, because his nose is big.
Yeah. So, and it works in novels too. And like the Foundation is a very screenwriting type novel where it's very dialogue heavy, but it does still have interiority, and they still will like, and also in omniscient novels, it's less important because the narrator is coming in and telling you what's happening, right? Like he's like, nope, this is what he's thinking, and he's taking over his mind, and like that's what happens, and that's what happens in Foundation because he's using omniscient narrator, so he has a lot more control. If you're in screenplays, you kind of have that. In screenplays, it's more omniscient because you are jumping around, so you can tell that interior through juxtaposition, stuff like that. 2 images back to back that are like weird. Like the guy's like looking at something, he's looking at a bowl of food, he's hungry. But yeah, it definitely depends. But yeah, internality is tough. I actually wrote a blog article. I actually copied my essay I wrote for my grad school class into my blog because I'm too lazy to actually write an article.
You wrote an article about it?
Well, that was like one of my essays was on
really?
internality.
Yeah,
so then I wrote about it and like how some of the techniques are, that I saw in the books. What type of writing are you doing? Definitely not screenwriting, novels. So X-Life, I am writing a novel. This is actually me editing. So half of this, or more like 1/10 of this stream now, is me and Fox will usually edit stuff that people submit to us. So we have a little bit of a long queue because I haven't edited in quite some time. But we will edit something someone submits, share it with the writer, and share our notes. So this is an edit of a novel, and we edited a screenplay earlier, but I am actually writing a different novel. It's more sci-fi. This is about a kid that gets, or a high schooler that gets getting bullied and is a cutter. So a little bit of a different thing. Does editing of all kinds, indeed. Yes, mostly working on novels from what I have seen. I write screenplays. I was curious. I will check out the website still. I edit my own stuff, but cool. I actually do. So screenplays are probably my strongest, to be honest. I'm getting a lot better at prose. But I started doing screenplay editing. I started writing screenplays. And I used to be a reader. So I used to read a lot of screenplays, do development edits. So the stuff here is a little bit more casual. So like these are the free edits, right? So they just like, I'll read 10 pages, give some notes, some directional things. Yeah. But usually people who do like the directional, the development edits, those I will actually write up. And you'll see an example of that on the website. But those I'll actually write up in detail, have about a 3 or 4 page doc of like recommendations and stuff like that. So kind of varying levels of intensity. Goes to them. What up, homie? Thanks for the follow. Life for XL. Pretty Boy TV. Thanks for the follow. I hope you are as good looking as your name.
Pretty boy.
Pretty boy?
Yeah, no, there's those mysterious people who I can't see.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody's been chatting on.
Oh yeah, we were just catching up with chat.
We were catching on chat, Fallen Clown. Fear not. No one's chatting on Periscope. Periscope, we just have watchers.
Just viewers.
Yeah, Periscope we have. What is it?
We're just behind on
What is it called? It's called lurkers.
Lurkers.
Lurkers only on Periscope. Fear not. We're just very far behind on chat. You got to get better Twitch BTTV. It'll have your chat history. It's the best. We actually may be done with this, and I'm actually going to, I think we're on page 8. Oh, we got a few more to go. Yeah. Text back. I never thought I would say that, but I'll try. Where do I go? I look at the website. Sitting in the living room, I click on the link. A new window opens on my phone. Website of eHarmony comes up. I click sign up and fill in the information.
Oh, my.
Girl.
Chapter 3. Surprise chat. Carly. Mix up. Who's Carly?
Breathing hard.
Yes, Daisy.
About to burst into tears. Why? How can I help? She says in a sweet, caring voice. I'm nervous. I don't know if I can do this online dating. Can you come over? Yes, be there soon. So if Carly was the one who suggested it, you may want to bring that in earlier. She hangs up the phone. About 20 minutes later, she arrives, walking up Daisy's driveway. Up her door, Carly rings the doorbell. Daisy smiles and steps up to the front door, her hand on the doorknob. She twists the knob and pulls it back, opening the door. She looks at Carly nervously. She noticed her friend was nervous. Hey, why so nervous? Well, Daisy stutters and looks back up with a worried look on her face. They walk into Daisy's room, sat on her bed, and grab the laptop. With her laptop in Daisy's lap, she opens up as Windows load. Sighing, she looks at Carly. Remember when you and Elvie told me I should try online dating? Yeah, what about it? I don't know if I can. I doubt anyone would like me. As she thinks of what I just told her, trying to come up with what to say, I click on my phone and update my status to #pointless. Aw. My
there we go.
Periscope stream is dying. I hope it's on.
#pointless. Oh.
Yeah. I got it. So I think this is a really good show. This is a good in-scene show of her insecurity. But consider also bringing us into her head. And it's a natural thing, because I'm a film guy. It was not natural for me to do interiority, but it really helped. You can ask Fox, who read the before and after of my draft, before and after interiority. The review screenplays of a film in pre-production through a company. We're going through a fun program. I want to know if I'm getting anywhere. If not, it's cool. I have great reviews, but curious from another writer. Yeah, we do review screenplays. We actually did one right before this.
Yeah.
So we edited Caleb's Ozma. So yeah, in our archive, let me see if I can do that. I think I have all this stuff. Those are our screenplays. If you just email it to that update. So by the way, you have an updated version of your drafts for me to read through. Give you notes. My draft of your book is months old. Yeah, I'll send it over, Fallen Clown, for sure. Always looking for beta readers. But yeah, send me an email with what you want to edit. The free edits, it sometimes takes a while because we have a long queue. And I've been more busy because I'm in actually master's in novel writing grad school right now. So that's taking up a lot of time. But I will try to get to it as soon as possible. If you do a paid edit, that obviously goes faster. But yeah. And it's pretty cheap, and I usually give a pretty good discount. So if you actually want like detailed development notes, let me know. If you're just like, hey, just take a look at it, the free stuff is usually what you're looking for. Because I don't want people to, unless you're gonna really roll up your sleeves and do a new draft, it's probably not worth it, to be honest. Yeah. So yeah, but if you just want us to take a quick look over, just email it over and we'll do a free edit. Mm-hmm. That's probably the best solution. And yeah. Cool. Just looking for a review, sending PDF. Perfect. Yeah. Daisy just to try. Can we take it slow if you want? She begs me to try. She's on her knees. She looks at Carly like she's crazy. I guess I can try this. She scoots closer to the laptop on the coffee table, eyes on the screen. I edited the PDF and I took notes on the side, Cyberjackalope. Oh, yeah. Daisy typed in the information. She gave Carly a little smile as she was still nervous, wondering if it was going to work at all. Then she scrolled down, clicked done, saying it out loud. Carly looked at her. Nice. Now you're on your profile. Add a picture of yourself so you guys will know what you look like. I don't have any good pictures of myself, she laughs. We can take some, right? Because you look really nice. You always do. Where do you want to take them? Both of us think of places. So this is a really good moment. Like, this tells me that Carly's a great friend.
Maybe.
Really? Maybe you don't trust Carly?
No.
You don't trust Carly? What does she mean?
She could take some pictures of her and be like, you look great, and then post them and be like, mean.
Ooh.
I know how girls work.
Ooh. Is it a trap?
Who knows? I mean, maybe not, but...
I'll do a reply here.
Unless it's a trap.
That's where that interiority can help. Because you can kind of signal like she's scared of trusting Carly. And then that can kind of help as well. Daddy, I got a perfect place, I think. She looks at where at. What about the streetlights in the neighborhood? I love how the light looks. My eyes sparkle because I'm excited. She looks over. Does this look good? Pictures now leave. Look at her. We both stand up and okay, driver's side. I'm on the passenger side. Okay. Both get in the car, look at each other and nod. After driving 45 minutes, we drive the scenery I liked. That's a long time. I like the time. Like the time shows how much she's worried about this. But it's a long but it's a good friendship for Carly to do this. Or she really wants to dominate this person and like be super mean. Step out of the car, sing the trees, came with a picture idea. Hey Carly, I know where I want pictures at. After hours of taking pictures, like we're done with pictures? Yeah, we're gonna be done with these amazing pictures of you. Cracker Barrel. So this seems very mundane. So one thing is consider adding conflict, even if it's in her head. Because, this sometimes it'll just be like, hey, like, discussing where to eat, is such a common conversation. It's hard for it to have to earn its place into a story. Remember, because, your goal as the writer is to maximize the amount of drama in this. So those kind of like, hey, what do you want to do? Blah, blah, want to go get dinner? Let's go to Cracker Barrel. That kind of back and forth is something I do every day.
Right.
And you're right. It's true to life. Mm-hmm. But it is so
nice
mundane.
To hear, like with a friend, but
yeah. Consider having some light conflict here. A disagreement.
Or a fear in her head or something.
To make this common life moment the drama that earns its place in your novel. Cool. Well, I think we are here at we're at page 12. We read more because it was good.
Cool.
I liked it. Looking for a review. Okay, cool. Did you edit the docx? Send the PDF, and thank you. I'm excited to read it. X Life.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Take a little while, but
I'm gonna jump back to Caleb's real quick. Since he's on. Boom. And I'm going to go over my overall notes real fast. And then we're going to go to bed because it's way late.
Mm-hmm. It's almost 1 a.m.
Oh my god. Really?
You're on California time, bucko.
What? It's 12:40? Oh my god. Fox is like, Jeff, move. Jeff, we've been out here for hours.
I still want mac and cheese, though.
She wants mac and cheese now because we've been reading about it.
Mac and cheese.
Yo, my man. Yo, chief.
With some hot dogs and that shit.
All right, so the big stuff, and I'm gonna send you all this, and you'll actually be able to watch my edit in detail. Probably the things I would worry about the most, or the things I would think about the most. First, the good stuff. Tip's character is really well developed. I like how crafty and clever he is, and thinking his smart way around problems. And I really like the way his first clever solution backfires. The second thing is the world building is really well done and creative, but I think that it's starting to overshadow some of the story. One of the examples of that is early in your screenplay, you want your first sequence to be really tight. You want it to almost have its own little miniature story to get me into it. But one of the things that I think happens here, because later on you can start bracketing. It's sort of like a formula, right? You have your parentheses, and that's like your one formula. Then you have a parentheses and another formula. And then sometimes you'll have these nested formulas where it's like your A story, your B story is a little formula inside of that that resolve, so you have all these little like...
The world building falls into that, right?
These little parentheses and parentheses. And I think you're doing that a little bit early. I think your first segment should tie up pretty tight. And I think what's happening is, they're delivering the newspapers, and then they meet the mayor. And then so you kind of have these, and they meet this lady who's kind of bad, and then you're giving us some exposition about the scarecrow. But I really want to see Tip shine earlier, and I think you may end up finding yourself narrowing that gap to that Dorothy moment, because that's when I think Dorothy's goal is kind of coming in, where she wants to find her friends and do this stuff. So that's kind of coming back in, and I think that's going to be your main plot line. But you maybe want to hint at that earlier.
Maybe like make Tip's goal clear earlier, because I think it's a little bit of like him wandering around, which is cool for the world building, but it's sort of like him just like driving around and looking at all the different things. It's sort of like, where is this going? And it does get to the Dorothy thing, but
I completely agree.
Yeah,
and I think you want to hint at that overall plot, and even if what your characters are doing at that moment isn't your overall plot, you want to have a mini story where they have a want, a goal, and an obstacle. Delivering papers, they kind of had this playground where they were getting attacked, kind of like blocked by somebody. The Wheelers were kind of stopping them. But I feel like there's probably some scene dynamics that need to get cleaned up there. But one thing was, Adobe, no, thank you. Was just like giving them that goal, because we got to reap the seeds this time, backing out now. So meet you at the Chronicle, so that's like that whole scene of like the things that kind of blocking them. Papers weren't established super early, at least from my read. Like they just pick up their bikes. So that felt like a different segment, right? Like they're kind of getting bullied by these guys, it seems. Then they do the papers. Then they meet the mayor. So it's kind of like that layering of segments where you may just want to combine and really focus it around one thing.
PDF was the least up to date.
Well.
You
still need the exposition, bring in more conflict. Yeah, there also was a few exposition moments, and you'll see them in the recording where it gets a little bit heavy. And I think the reason that is because you're doing a lot of world building up front. You're really trying to show this whole world in the first few pages, and that's just sometimes not possible without really kind of stunning the reader. It's okay to have a slow ramp. Make the world building ramp into your screenplay this steady progression. It'll really flow a lot smoother. Consider that. And because Wogglebug Juniors, Wheel Bugs, and you're spending a lot of time describing this, and sometimes even in the scene level, you're kind of losing that drama of the scene because you're so busy describing the mechanics of it. So make sure, prioritize the character and the drama. Make sure that we see Tip's problem earlier. In that other story, even with those a little bit light on interiority and had some stuff to work on, that character's need was there from page 1. People were bullying her and she was cutting herself. And that's, obviously a different type of story, but we want to see Tip feeling inadequate because he can't use magic. I want that to be page 1 because that ties in. Newspapers, I don't know if the newspaper is going to come back later. Maybe it will. But I feel like his inability to use magic and his need to compensate by doing these clever things is going to be central. And that is something that the first sequence should showcase in its capsulated form. Other than that, that's pretty much everything. Fox is yawning. I'm pretty tired too.
For sleepy fox.
Ooh, I like that. Getting a lead pointing to the Emerald City. I think that's a fantastic idea, Cyber. And I think or just that loneliness, because I think
I didn't even realize that he didn't know who his parents were. Because he just kind of rides around and talks to people.
I think that's right on, Cyber. One thing to think about is sometimes you don't have to necessarily show the goal, but you can show the cost. So him being lonely, him being alone, him not having this community and this family, that can get you a pretty long way. But yeah, I also think that even just saying it and setting him up I want to find my parent, that's okay. It sometimes can be a little clunky, or the best way to do that sometimes is cutting in mid-scene as he's chasing down a lead.
Mhm.
And he's like, you know, like going through an old house, and he's like, someone said like Mr. and Mrs. Tip were here, and then they're like, no, who's that? And he's like, nothing, and then he's like, so like kind of having him pursuing that goal and getting an obstacle. You may not even have to frame it as much. You can just kind of get in scene on his way to his first failure, which will eventually lead him to Dorothy and apparently his real quest. But yeah, dude, I think that's definitely the right track.
Yeah. Did you draw any inspiration from Return to Oz? Because I love that movie. That's all I.
Return to Oz?
The one I was telling you about?
Yeah.
The Wheelers and the lady with the heads. He's never seen it. I'm like, come on. Call yourself a film guy.
Oh,
Call yourself a film man.
Nothing!
You're nothing.
Nothing!
Did you ever see The Craft? Probably not. No? Okay.
Right.
Shows in the 90s, like, film about witches. One of the witches was in... Never mind. Never mind. I lost him.
So I'm going to go ahead and host dear old Majin. She'll be fine. Were you talking to me?
It was.
What were you saying? I'm a bad person.
See, Return to Oz. Freaking amazing.
Yeah, really? Okay, let's watch it. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you saying Return to Oz.
Yeah, okay. No, I was saying, did you ever see The Craft?
No.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think so.
I'm a noob. I thought you were talking to
One of the girls
Caleb.
who was in The Craft was in, was the little, like, when she was older, she's in The Craft, but she's a little, like, Dorothy in Return to Oz.
Oh.
It's kind of creepy.
That's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy is always kind of creepy. Except for Judy Garland. She's, like, so nice. You know, how can you be creepy?
Yeah.
So, Return to Oz is amazing. Everyone go watch it. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Hide your buy pie kids.
You heard it here first.
All right, so we are going to sign off because it is well past midnight. I had no idea I was keeping up Fox this late. It's almost 1 a.m.
Luckily, it's vacation.
So it turns out we're going to wake up at noon tomorrow.
Yep.
Anyways, it's always fun hanging out with you guys. Great writing, both of you. Good stuff.
Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like every other writing. My own novel. You know, we always have places to keep cranking, and good luck with revisions. I will be there in the trenches revising my novel as well with you, so you're definitely not alone.
Never alone.
Never alone. Yeah, when it comes to revisions, you are never alone.
Die, of course. Yes, thank you.
That's
terrifying. Yes.
Return to Oz? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe something else. But no, Return to Oz is terrifying.
Yeah.
In a good way.
And what's the other one you said? The Clan?
Oh, The Craft, but
that's not terrifying.
It's 90s.
Okay. Yeah, 90s was a better time.
I guess.
Peace and joy reigned upon the earth. All right, we're off.
Okay, guys.
Peace.
Good night.